Welcome to today's show. My name's Will Steele. I'm the host of the Free to Lead podcast, Journeys of Leaders, driven by passion, inspired by purpose. We have a very interesting guest on the show today, Djuradj Caranovic. Hard to pronounce his first name, and he's not precious, so he's okay with that. He's unusual in that he's bringing AI to decision making in corporations. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Djuradj. Djuradj, hi.
Hi, thank you for inviting me and hello to your audience.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This is about journeys of leaders driven by passion, inspired by purpose. So why don't you give us a little bit of background that brought you up to today, where now you consult companies bringing AI into their decision making?
Yeah, actually, my core why I started this entrepreneurship journey was I know that I wasn't built for 9 to 5 type of working. And actually, I didn't like to work. I like to create. And I believe there is a distinguish between those because working is more about the routines and the processes, and creating is about the final outcome and a little bit more to risk to get to there. And my journey is actually coming as well after the university regarding corporation is a safe path to understand your skills and abilities. But after a while, I started my first entrepreneurship journey with organic production.
So just for the people listening, you do have an accent, so people might wonder, where's this man from? So to
Yeah,
have them listen to you, like,
I'm
where are you
originally
from?
from Serbia, living in Lisbon.
Great.
And
So Serbia is where you're from, but you're living in Lisbon, Portugal right now.
yes, last
Okay,
5 years. And actually, I was all around the world. I lived in Spain, I lived in Hungary, I lived a little bit in Romania and Greece. So I was actually pursuing my career regarding corporations and to go to the clients. And my soul is materialistic wise, and I always wanted money, as I think most of us. And actually, my biggest enemy was my ego. And on those journey, I think the most grateful what I am about is I somehow managed to conquer my ego. And I think this is the biggest achievement.
Right. Tell me
So
more
to
about that.
go,
Tell me
yeah,
more about that, because that's my department. That's what I like to explore with people, because it definitely gets in the way.
yeah. But there is like segments. First of all, the first ego impact for me is selfishness. I need to do this. I need to lead this. I need to make this. I need to be successful in this. And I was focusing to grow myself, to leverage myself, and to be better to others, but through myself. And I wasn't able to accept the way of other people are doing things and what is their boundaries. And I always, this is lazy, this is too judgmental, this shouldn't be my boss because I don't know, I know better than him or have the greater knowledge. So it was always the situations when I was most unresilient one is the situations about my ego and actually talking to myself that I cannot do it because of. And the second thing impact for me was regarding my education, like half of my life, I was taught that I need to have the reference, which is this is if you succeed the reference, I'm a good student, I have straight A's, I have a good GPA or something like that. And regarding entrepreneurship, there is not such like that. You need to make one and then to pursue one. And between the making one and pursuing one, there is a lot of time in between. And then you are not so motivated because in every educational system, you have this micro motivation, like every week you're getting one degree or every week you are having one exam or something like that. In entrepreneurship, my first actually was failed regarding the marketing agency. The second one, I needed to wait 4 years for the first profit. And in those 4 years, I was always challenging myself, am I good enough? Should I stop doing this? Am I doing something wrong? Can it be better? Should I listen this guy or that guy? Should I listen my family, because my family was about, come on, you need to work something. You cannot be entrepreneurship. It's actually, I was starting as solopreneurship because there is no employees.
And what was the business that you were working at for 4 years?
Actually, I started with organic production, and in the first year, I understand that I don't know anything about the production. And second, after that, I then started
food produce. Sorry, I keep
Yes.
interrupting. You mean food
Yes.
produce?
Yes, fruit. It's vegetables and the fruits.
Oh, okay. So you're in farming, is that right?
Farming, yeah.
Organic farming.
Starting organic farming from the scratch, and I didn't know anything about it. And then after a while, I understood that I don't know about that, but I know how to organize other farmers. And I started organizing other farmers, and in the 4 years, we conclude around 100, 105 farmers. It was 200 hectares in total. And we started exporting the fruits and vegetables to the surrounding countries. It's EU country because Serbia, it's not EU. And our way of doing things, because in farming, there is not so trust. We are actually doing the open book business, which means for every shipment, we took 5%. So the farmer exactly knew what is the purchase price, what is the logistic cost, what is the selling price, and what is the margin we are taking off. And everybody said, you're crazy, you can earn more money, you can take more profit. However, they didn't understand that I was betting on routine, which means when you used to the farmer that, let's say, every month the truck is coming and taking their fruits, after 3 or 4 months, I'm not doing nothing. It's like automatically, because everybody used to where to go, where to ship, how to ship, what is the procedure, what he needs to prepare, what the truck driver needs to have, and everything was prepared. So basically, after a while, we just was operational one and educating the farmers how to produce more, because if he produce more, then we have the more profit. And after 4 years, we become profitable. After 7 years, we got so much profitable that we were acquired by Aldi. This is a huge company in Germany regarding everything. It's retail company. They have everything.
Yeah. They have those supermarkets, Aldi supermarkets.
They have supermarkets, but they have own production as well. So actually, we were selling to them, and then they were like 75%. They was our biggest buyer, and then they said, "Okay, let's take it all."
Wow, they bought you out.
Yeah. After that, this is the third attempt regarding the ego and the entrepreneurship. Is actually now you are like successful entrepreneur. You sold something which you built from the scratch, and then of course you can do it again. Everybody is expecting to do it again. However, it's not like that. It's not like I have a magic wand now because I have one successful startup, let's say, or the company, and it was very challenging for me to repeat it.
What was that challenge? What was the challenge?
The challenge is I was a little bit influenced by success, and I was not honest to myself regarding my abilities. And I thought that I can now skip the steps and then, let's say, start from the middle and then buy the company, or I will be faster now regarding the first couple of steps. And my surroundings as well was anticipating that I will be successful. And this created pressure for me because you must be successful now. Until now, it's like discovery and the journey of the discovery of myself and what company is capable to do and how to be more profitable. And now the expectation is you got that discovery part. You now need to assure everybody that it will be successful. And for me, it was too much pressure and I need a little bit break from it. So I went again to work in corporation. However, it took only 2 years because for me it was awful. My way of thinking was totally now different. I couldn't understand why they're doing in that way, why I need so much hierarchy, why I cannot jump some processes and some departments to be fast regarding some things. And I didn't understand why they are not somehow involving all the people, not just department wise. Because in corporations, you have, if it's IT projects, then it's lead by IT. And there is project manager and there's maybe finance and that's it.
Yeah.
However, let's say HR people or some higher executives are just the sponsors. They are not part of the project.
Yeah.
And I believe that the project can develop faster if it's going from the top. So we can involve someone from the top to be aware about every step of the project and help us regarding the communication of the steps, of the milestones.
Yeah.
And when I was proposed to that, their way was, okay, that's a good idea. Go to the board of the management and tell them about the idea. And of course, they said, no, we don't have time for that. And I was very annoyed with that approach that we are not good enough for their time. We are just workers.
Yeah.
And expectations for us was established by some Excel sheet, which is performance based. And then if you do this and this, you are a good worker. And after that, I actually, that motivated me for the next challenge actually was about how to automatize that processes regarding consultation wise first, because I didn't have the company. So I left that corporate job. I found actually next job was with a consultation company. However, they have the threshold of 150,000 euros. Below that, they are not doing that projects. And I was the guy who said, okay, can I establish a little company and do that project? Because for me, it's a huge one. And they said, of course. And they allowed me to do that project because 40% of that I was giving to them and everything else was profit of the company. And my journey was completely different then because as soon as possible, I didn't want to make, let's say, the mistake from previous one to create and surround everything by me and centered to me. I wanted as soon as possible to leverage the responsibilities and leverage the risk to other employees. And all the money, all the profits, even my salary, I was investing in hiring other people. And first 3 years, actually, I was in minus and I was utilizing the bonus from the previous job and actually hiring just to get the scalability and the scope of the projects that I can leverage alone the next one, because I was getting the project because I was subsidiary of the bigger company, not because I'm strong enough or I can leverage alone one project. And after 2 years, we established that. I was very grateful that only after 2 years, there was first standalone project. And that standalone project with a huge company, Chanel. We was actually doing the full scope regarding how to change their internal processes regarding AI and how to incorporate artificial intelligence in their way of working. And for us, it was the first biggest client, biggest project. The project took us 4 years to deal with it because Chanel is a huge corporation. It's a huge animal. And again, the challenge was because we wasn't so much experts in it. So it's not like I have the ninja team and we are now doing like this. No, we are studying by side and learning as well. And then implementing like yesterday's learnings tomorrow. And it was a lot of mistakes. However, we was very fast about knowing our mistakes and then be very transparent what we can do and what we cannot do. And then we have the referral for the next company. And then again, it was like in 1 year from 10 employees, we grown to 80 employees. And it was actually magic wise. I didn't notice anything. I just knew that we are now a company finally. And then there is again this twist regarding the ego, because I now have the big company. Let's say for me, it's a big company.
Yeah.
And then I am now very proud of it. And then I'm very judgmental about what others are doing. And now I need to focus not just as workers or employees. I need to focus to them as somehow as profit centers. And it's very challenging to switch that when you are, let's say, from the start, you have these 10 workers and it's actually your friends in 4 years, and then you need to switch them to somehow on the meeting to say, look, you need to do this and this, we need to push this and this, you are mistaking this and this. So it's very challenging, that switch. And of course, some of the people will lose by that step, and you need to deal with that as well. This is the one of the ego impacts. And the second one is, now I define myself as a successful entrepreneur. But again, I was then challenged as it goes. We were led by tech implementation. So we are finding the solutions in tech regarding who can the best processes, automate the processes in that company. And then we have the tender for that tech solution. We are implementing that tech solution, and then our job is done. And because that was, I think 2019, 2020, something like that.
Yes.
Everybody jumped to AI, and then our competition was a huge consulting companies like KPMG, Deloitte, and we cannot compete with that. And what we then do, we sold this department regarding the implementation to the big consultation, Accenture, big consultation company. And then we focus now on decision making and the way of thinking. The AI is impacting the way of thinking. And now it's a totally different shift, because let's say in one way here you have a product and you know how to sell a product, and you have the project managers. But here you have a service who nobody understands actually what you are offering and what is the outcome and what is results. And even you are not so secure in your service that it will work, but you get some gut feeling regarding that. And then you need to push yourself to believe in something in the future. So you don't have, let's say, leverages and concrete examples, practical examples, what you're doing. You're laying eggs for something in the future, and you must believe it. And it's very difficult to explain to other employees to follow your dream, and you cannot show them exactly what is the path. And then you need to be very aware of yourself and way of your communication, because every spark, every sentence is measuring your capabilities. Is it going in the right way or not? And as it's dynamic one, it's not like straight up
Straight line.
not we
Not
have like
usually.
3 huge projects, then we lost two projects, and then it's a little bit anticipation regarding, is it a good way, or is it a good approach, is it a good way of going to this? And then you have the challenges and focusing all your energy about not just communicating with the clients, but you need to communicate with your employees. And leveraging that, it's very difficult, because somehow you need to learn how to leverage yourself. And then you need to understand how to have your way of thinking, or advocating your way of thinking when you are not in the room. And for that, you need believers. And for that, you need someone who are actually believing more than you are in some moments in a thing what you want to achieve. And you cannot that pay with money. You cannot give higher salaries. You cannot have them greater benefits. It's way of the characters. It's way of the people are combined of. And to harvest that kind of people, it's for me a little bit by luck, because you cannot place an ad and say, whoever believe in me, please come work to this company.
Yes.
You need a little bit time to give to them. You need always to challenge myself and to have some sorts of calibration regarding how I'm doing things. And it's a 24-hour calibration, because there is not constant in it. And finally, today, we concluded that we are one of the 10 companies who are able to train the AI models, one of the 10 companies who are focusing on the decision making and who have the expertise and capabilities to understand how AI is influencing on the way of thinking and how that impacts on the strategy. And now it's much different approach, and it's much different expectations, because now they want to change, or actually to add one more perspective regarding what are staying and what is actually we are letting off, because AI will replace some skill sets and you don't need to invest in them anymore, and some skill sets will stay for sure. So this human part and this intuition and this knowledge from the years and expertise gaining from the mistakes and from your expertise, which combined with your intuition and this traditional way of thinking, will stay. However, your, let's say, data-driven approach, AI will take it. Your expertise that you can be best in everything, AI will take it. Your way of hiding your mistakes, AI will show it immediately. And that's a little bit tricky, because not everyone, every company is ready for this impact on the culture of the company to be so much transparent.
Yes.
And to be so much honest regarding your capabilities.
Very good. Very good. So if I was in the audience today and I'm listening in, and I've got a company and some people are using AI in certain aspects in admin and things like that. I'm listening in and you're talking about AI and you're talking about with your thinking and stuff. So if you take away the processes, what benefit is it to, what am I, if I say, hey, come and help me in my company, what am I asking for? What is the actual result you're going to help me produce?
There is actually, we divided in three things. First thing is actually faster testing. Whatever you have, a product or service, we will create a digital twin of your environment, simulating your audience. And you have prototyping, product testing, service testing in way of minutes. So you don't need to wait for weeks, or you don't need to invest in some target groups, or even you don't need to go to the market and see the feedback. So regarding prototyping, you get now feedback in minutes. This is the first part.
That's the first part.
The second part is regarding monetization of your data, because many of the companies have history, and usually they are not doing anything with their history. They're combining some archive, and basically that's it. However, now the most monetization is in data, how to train the model. And to train the model is based on the history. To give you an example, in procurement, usually all the companies, not just corporations, have challenges regarding procurement. And what we are now doing, we established, actually, we built the model. We feed the model with, let's say, last 5 years of procurement history. And then model, we anticipate what are your needs in this year or 3 years forward. And actually, he is capable of to find the best price in parameters with the price, logistics, and the quality of the product. You have what are your prioritizations, depends on the company. And actually what is happening, let's say you need to buy a laptop and you will have a new employee, and then you need to buy a new laptop, and then you will buy a new laptop, and then the cost will be a little bit higher because you need it immediately, and then you need to hire someone to establish that laptop and to install everything, and then you have the training and blah, 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 onboarding all the process. What this actually AI agent is doing, he is doing all of those steps automatically. So he is buying the laptop, let's say 6 months before. He is installing everything automatically. He has some processes regarding what should be allowed, what is not, regarding what is the type of the employee who is getting the laptop or everything else. He is then beginning onboarding process regarding the e-learning platforms, everything digital has the company, regarding some scripts, or usually in sales, we have some simulations, how to train them to talk with the clients and how they can offer the products and what their mistake they're doing. And when you're onboarding someone, he needs a little bit like 3 months to get on board, usually in traditional way.
Yeah, so it's not just procurement of
Yes,
goods.
now we are doing that from the procurement to the onboarding in 1 month.
So,
in 1 month,
so far we've got
established
two things, right? One is testing
yes,
products and products. I don't know about services. And then the other one is procurement for also onboarding. So that's an addition, but it's in there.
yes.
Very
And the
good.
third one is actually, where are your company going? It's simulating the market behavior regarding what you are offering. And basically what he is doing, 1,200 simulations regarding your industry, what is your competition doing, and he is doing that real time. So we have the synthetic data, we have your history, and this is the first step. The second step is analyzing your competition and then leveraging what is the pros and cons regarding the competition. And then it's tracking real time what is happening on the market. So when you want to change the strategy, or you need to change the strategy, you can do it much faster and you can do it much earlier than before. So it's not something happened on the market, then you took 3 or 6 months to respond to that, and then you have already the impact regarding the market. So this is preparing you as a risk, and it's showing in percentage. And when the percentage is rising, then you are alerted more and more, and you are proposed what should you do regarding leveraging the market.
Brilliant.
Now, the question is, technical one, you can do anything. However, now you have the ethical principles here, because you need to somehow create the rules what and how to behave the AI agent on the market, not to, because for him, if you give it, I want this outcome, he will do that outcome, but he will not follow the rules to do that outcome. Maybe you don't like that. And the second thing is how you can leverage the mistakes. So it's like risk PR. And this is the most beneficial one, because then you can be more transparent to your clients or consumers, because you can then show, look, I'm not perfect. My products are not perfect. And I'm leveraging this like this and this, and I'm fast about it.
Yes.
And that part is actually direct impact on your EBITDA or your profit.
Yes. Yes. Great. Great. But here we are. Journeys of leaders driven by passion. Obviously very passionate about this whole integration of AI into all different parts of an organization. And there's a purpose, there's like a vision to it. So what would that vision be that's lighting you up? And see, passion and purpose combined. You got a great purpose that you're up to. It gives you inspiration, and you got the drive already. Okay. So what would you say if you look out into the future? What are you creating with all this?
I believe that we are creating a space that you can be more experts in the things that you like. And I believe that in the future, most of the boring tasks, someone else will take care of it, because usually that are pattern or template tasks, and every day or every month or every hour you're doing the same, so it's boring. However, again, that will push you to be more creative, because when in the future everybody has the same AI, the same opportunities, the same solutions, the master is who has the better ideas and who is more creative.
Yes.
So I believe that in the future and near future, in next 5 years, we need to develop to be more dynamic, more creative,
Yes.
and to understand ourselves, what we are actually passionate about, and
Yes.
what is actually driving us moving forward. Because if the answer is, I don't know, finance, it's too general. And I believe that answer is in ourselves. And I believe that it starts a little bit with our selfishness, what we want to be, not what we want to produce.
Yeah, it's great. If you look at what the whole journey you've just shared with us, and quite detailed, comes all the way back round full circle. How you started out was, I don't really like to do work, but I like to create things.
Yes.
Here we are out in the future. You're trying to get rid of the boring work stuff and have people be able to be more creative with their business. It's such a fit. It's fantastic. Really
Example,
in itself.
we have a client who is actually last 2 years, he didn't wrote one email.
Wow.
Because for him it was boring.
Yes.
And then he had the time to invest in combining some strategies and shifting things a little bit different.
Great.
But you need to have the time for that, and you need to manage the energy for that. And I believe that AI can help us in managing the energy.
Beautiful. How do people reach out to you? How do they get in touch with you?
The best thing is regarding LinkedIn, to find me on LinkedIn, because I believe in two-way communication. I don't like just someone to follow me or just someone it's PR me and me. I believe that for me, the most valuable thing is to have opinion regarding my opinion, not just to listen to others. And that's what I like regarding LinkedIn.